Hey guys, welcome back to the Aussie Gooner channel and welcome back to another yarn. Oh, this yarn's going to be interesting, guys. A dismal start to the Premier League, and I've got my co-hosts here to discuss a few important topics that have come to mind, have come to light, and to be honest, I think they deserve a bit of time. And look, I'd like to introduce you guys to Prince Fuad. I don't know if you already know him. He's been around, he's been here, he's been there, he's been everywhere. But I want to ask him, how has he been? How you going? Where you been?
I'm good, man. I'm still doing. I'm good, man.
It's good to hear, bro.
From the gym, but I'm good, man.
That's hitting the gym, man. That's it. You got to get your frustrations out. I know, man. I know what it's about. Kenny Ken, thank you for joining us again, mate. How you going, buddy?
Thanks for having me. You know, thing is, I've basically enjoyed my, obviously, if you take away the things that have happened in 2021, I've actually have an advantage in the both of you is that I'm not kind of, governed by lockdown. Like you're in Sydney where lockdown is very heavy.
It's not too bad now.
Like there's arguments like doing that, and you're from Wales, where the First Minister of Wales decided to from the 26th to curb you, whilst I'm in England, which is the real capital of the UK. We had no curbs whatsoever. Go on tube trains, and everyone's. Well, majority of us do have masks. There's a few people who don't, and I'm sure. I mean, how can a 21-year-old who looks as fit as a fiddle have an exemption not to wear a mask? I can't wait to see that. But on the whole, that I can understand, both frustrations. But in terms of Arsenal and boxing, there's a lot more happening out of the ring and off the pitch than it has in the ring, because no fights in Britain in January, and England, the football's been actually boring. It's rubbish. I'm not just talking Arsenal, but everywhere.
And Arsenal, it'd be good if Arsenal would just fucking get on with it, eh? Like, get on with a fucking win. But no, we can't fucking do that.
5 days. 5 days.
5 days of what? Of what? Of torture? Of torture?
Yeah, it's torture because let's face it, it has to be some sort of torture, because the reason I say
these are the crucial 5 days crucial 5 days.
Fuck yeah, because look, we started the season off shit, right? We've had disciplinary issues, we've had betting dramas with Xhaka, fuck's sake, and now look, like, before I'm going to talk about Arteta, I want to talk about all that, but the first thing I want to talk about is our transfer issue. So, Vlahovic deal, done and dusted, forget about it, it's not going to happen. That was our number one target, right? And I was like, I could see it getting done, but obviously Vlahovic wanted Juventus. I mean, how long Edu and Arteta knew about that, I don't know. But we've got nothing coming in. We've got no players in so far. We've got 5 days, right? Realistically. Now, I'm going to be serious with you guys. He's gone to Juventus, but I just want to understand one thing. Realistically, in this transfer window, how much are we actually going to fucking spend? That's what I'd like to know. That's what my thought. What are we actually thinking that this club will spend in this transfer window? No fucking bullshit. No dreams. Tell me what you reckon. And Fuad, I know you got something on your mind. Come on now.
You know what? The truth is, Arsenal, when they link with a player, I have never ever took him serious. I remember one time we linked with Benzema through all the summer. We signed over.
Oh, no.
I know.
We were linked all the way through the season with Higuain. We signed Arshavin in January. So Arsenal, whoever they're linked with, is always the opposite player. So you don't know who they're going to bring in. Like I tell you, what? It was only a year ago. Hussam Awar. He was another one. So Arsenal, whenever they tell you to link with a player, just sit back, drink your coffee, and wait. That's all, because they never happens.
You know what, Prince Fuad, you've got a very good point, and I think what it is that I think obviously Aussie girls, when you mentioned Vlahovic, I think what it is right now is that a lot of players who we are linked to, especially players from abroad, especially the ones in Italy and Bundesliga, that if you're linked with an English club, then there's an opportunity to sort of not just double your wages, but triple your wages.
All day.
So, when a club like Arsenal, who's traditionally massive in England, and, because of what Arsene Wenger did and George Graham did before with the players we've been associated with in terms of, like, let's talk about the sexy players, Perez and Henry, Vieira and Petit. obviously that's a massive, massive attraction in terms of the memories. But I still think that players like Vlahovic, especially when he really wants to go to Juventus, is basically, look, I want to come to you, but Arsenal can offer me triple my wages. Come on, meet me halfway. So if Arsenal offer me 250, you give me 200, I'm there, because you'd probably earning 60,000. So I do feel that it's the same thing with Benzema 7 years ago, where it was leverage in order to sort of get the same sort of money that perhaps the Galacticos were getting in terms of Ronaldo. And let's face it, Benzema was never cut off because he's still there.
Exactly.
Years later. But
Concreted.
I do think that the foreign players that we do get linked with will release the information in order to, put bombs up the asses of the financial people at the clubs they really want to go to. And I think that's where Arsenal got a problem. But, the fact that Arsenal really went out and put a financial package together, and the fact they cleared players out, showed that, in order to get this guy in, FFP, get all these guys off, send them out alone, and then we can release the decks. So they did go for him, but it was a case of him always insisting, I'm not interested in going to Arsenal. So it's leverage.
Yeah, but I understand where you're coming from. And I look, I'm with you. But I feel as if that you think that it shouldn't have taken them 20-odd days to pick up the fact that this guy wants Juve, right? And I know it was Torreira in the mix. I know it was cash to Fiorentina and then working out the dollars and cents, the 5 cents, the 2 cents, the 3 cents. And then finally, in come Juventus, and it's done and dusted. And we drag out 20 days of bullshit. And I look at it and I think to myself, now we were offering anywhere between 50.
Yo, do you think Arsenal did for him? It's like they do it all the time.
It felt like a soft approach. It felt soft.
They must have been interested. They had to be interested because the fact that the fees is at £62.86 million. There has to have been a bidding war between the both the time, and there has to be a situation where some sort of bargaining must have been done with Juventus and through the Arsenal's interest for the player to finally go, because it was always his first choice. But his agents are going to want to negotiate money. Come on. Let's be realistic. Arsenal are not in a place where, in terms of in real terms, we can't offer him the top level football at the moment, which Juventus can offer him, because they're only they're back. Was it 4 points off the Champions League?
I haven't even looked.
Places. And I think they're back. After their draw with Milan, they're probably about 11 points off the title. But there's still a lot of football to be played. And if any team can, claw back the points in order to challenge, it's Juventus, because of they still, in my opinion, have the biggest reach in Italian football, probably the best players.
Yeah.
See, for me, you know what it was? It was the 2 million, 3 million, and then find out what Juventus offered in the end, right? Well, I thought to myself, we couldn't just knock them out of the water and just go overboard. Do what a Liverpool's done. Do what a Man United have done. Have just come in and said, you know what? What was that? 70 million? We're going to put a package together worth 80. We're going to offer him £350 million, £350,000 a week. You want to come knock on my door now? And we couldn't do that. And that's where I sit there and I go back to this thought. I think we spent 156, 153 this start of this season, right? Now, I know that got us a lot of good players. In my opinion, the players that we bought in, I can't knock any of them for the money we spent and for what we got. I think we got
more experience. Would you like, in hindsight,
the
fact that, because I think the young players as well, when you go there in a sort of youth project and the process, one of the things that the unspoken sort of phrase that they leave out, although some people use it, you've got to take some pain. Now, because it's 2022, we haven't won a game. I don't know if we scored a goal in the league.
No, we haven't.
No, we've
it's been 4 games, 0-0. It's been 0-0. Yeah.
So they've only scored 1 goal in that period. Sometimes you do need a bit of experience and to come in. And I think what's Arsenal always done throughout the years, although we get ridiculed for it, wherever a Chelsea player is out of contract, or we always gone for the Chelsea player, because these ultimately are players who've won leagues and won in Europe. So we go for them, and they see that they become our leaders if they, shake a leg like Petr tried and tried his best for us. Although some fans, like probably yourself, I don't know, I can't speak for both of you. You probably thought he was on the wane when he came to us in terms of his abilities, but he was a leader.
He was a leader. He was.
Yeah, David Luiz worked his nuts off for us. Let's not fact whether we wanted him or not. He did try it. You can't say that for William. And William Gallas, for all his shenanigans, did try for Arsenal. Only
Gallas did.
He had a Chelsea mentality, whilst we had the Arsenal mentality.
Arsenal Wenger mentality. I agree with you. I watched William Gallas live one time away at Birmingham, and you could see like that game when we drew, when Birmingham scored. You could see like William Gallas, just like you could see he was on the floor.
Well, he knew what it takes. He knew the players, and he knew that was it. And Man United players always say, 13 years, 20, 14 years down the line, that's when they won the league. That's when they won the league. When Birmingham got that penalty in the last minute, when they're down to 10 men.
See, the experience and leadership is a big deal in this team right now, right?
When he played against Chelsea, he played like his life was on the line. Remember that goal he scored? He absolutely was possessive for Arsenal. And he didn't want Chelsea. He was 2-0 down, and Gallas got the equaliser. And it was 2-2 in the Emirates.
Well, when we beat them at 1-0, when we beat Chelsea 1-0 in that season when we should have won the league, who got the goal? William Gallas.
Yeah.
And he celebrated it.
Actually, I remember that.
Yeah. And he, I still think that was a massive chance for him to lift the title for Arsenal. That was probably the last great team we had at Arsenal. And then it fell away. And I suppose after that, we've gone in decline. And I think this is where the frustration comes in, with transfer windows. Is that the undeniable fact is each season, regardless of where we followed, the quality of player we have and the quality of player we acquire is not at the level of a top club. It's just we just have to accept it.
I'll tell you another one we were linked with. Kenny, I'll tell you another one. It was Hatem Ben Arfa. When we linked with him for a while.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Ben Arfa, aka Ben Arfa. Yeah, I remember we linked with him, and I think, is he going to come to Arsenal? And after, when it come to towards the end of the season, I thought they ain't getting him.
Nah, look,
he went to Newcastle.
It's this is the thing that gets to me, right? And I keep saying to people, like, I understand that we have got a young squad, and I know it's like, do we want? Is it lacking leadership? It is, but I kind of like the fact that we have a young squad that is somewhat unpredictable, and the gaps that we've got, they're not in leadership right now because Lacazette's doing a job, right? Our gaps are in quality, right? And this Vlahovic move was I'm talking centre mid. I'm talking centre midfielder, a box to box.
Well, right back because.
Right back. I know we got Tomiyasu, right? And I know I got Ben White that can play right back, and he's been playing it very well. And right now, Holding's doing his job. But my problem is if I go and try and get depth, right? If I go for depth, then this is my issue. My starting line now is patchy. My striker is a false 9, and we all know it. My centre midfielding pairing is Granit Xhaka, who's doing stupidity throughout every single game. I don't know if it's to get these yellow cards, betting scandal, I'm not going there, or it's just Granit Xhaka. So I know I need a centre midfielder. I know I need a striker. But me as an Arsenal fan, I know one more thing, that if we've spent 156 million with the Kroenkes in the background, how much money do I have to spend on a striker and a centre midfielder? Because I won't get both. As an Arsenal fan, we all know when we've got 3 players that we need, we're lucky to get 1 or 2. And if I'm going to buy a player, I want to buy a player that's going to slot into the starting line because we need to fill the gap in the start. And that's my problem at the moment. I got 156 million spent. I talk to fans a lot, and I keep hearing, oh, we need another 150 or another 100. Okay, yeah, I'm with you. Now, in reality, are the Kroenkes going to go ahead and do that? I don't think so.
All right, question the thing. If we look at the start of the transfer window, we have cleared the decks. Now, you're clearing the decks because, some of these guys in the last year of their contract. So you're thinking, right, we're going to send you out on loan to clear the decks. You're not going to be here at the end of the season. This is a prelude. This is a chance for you to go and find somewhere else. Or if you're in the last year of your contract, you've got probably a year left. This is a chance for you to impress on loan and then stay away from the club permanently. And I think, a lot of the things is that, we talk, they're talking about Newcastle spending all this money, but, regardless of whether Man City and Chelsea always get their lawyers in, or mostly Man City. The fact is that Michel Platini has left a blueprint for to English football. He's actually done a really good job in stifling English football, which he wanted to do anyway because they're dominating Europe. And he left it, despite the fact that he's persona non grata. He left a really, really big legacy, and that's one of the reasons I think Arsenal cleared the decks, because I think they put all their eggs in the basket for that player. So the plan B option now, well, I'm hearing David, I'm hearing
Isak,
Guimaraes, I'm hearing Neves, and that's just a midfield. You know what I mean? And then in centre forwards, I'm hearing Isaac and DCL from Everton.
So Jovic's the hot favourite.
Jovic on loan.
What's that? Yeah.
Jovic on loan.
Yeah. So what's happening now? Well, if we cleared the decks now, and are we going to use the next 5 days to, go into the areas where I think we need to improve? I mean, Jed Spence, last week he was the real deal. He's at Middlesbrough, and he ruined Martinelli.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
Yeah.
So, I still think that, and people think, if you say we need a right back, you're criticising Tommy Asu. I said, yeah, but how
about the bench?
Right back rather than somebody who could play there? Because I still think that if you watched the game against Burnley,
I did.
Actually watched Liverpool. They was really injured. One of the things we lack with Tommy Asu is overlap, because at the end of the day, we don't play with traditional wingers. When we all played as a kid, a left winger was a left winger.
Yeah,
put crosses in, right? A right winger is a right winger, put crosses in with their traditional foot. Now we play with inverted wingers, where basically what happens is they go in the midfield, draw teams out, and it leaves space for
the overlap
fullback to overlap. Boom, overlap. Alexander-Arnold overlap. Robertson overlap. The reason I'm going for them is because they're the best in the business at doing it. Obviously, Man City, before even Pep came along, you had overlaps, although he does something different, but there's still an overlap down the right-hand side for, with Cancelo, Walker when he plays, and obviously before Mendy, how he got Bale. Fuck, Jesus Christ. I mean, you can't get unlucky 7 times, can you? But that's another story. We could discuss that in Instagram. But
fucking hell.
You got Shevchenko and Mendy. So that's modern football, and I think that Arsenal against Burnley struggle in that respect.
I think though, my opinion on Tommy Asu is I think he's done really well.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, he has defensively.
He's like every
going forward against Tech, although he didn't play, going forward, we are going to need someone who's going to create that overlap.
Yeah.
Who's actually it. Because what's happening, right, is that nowadays I don't think coaches really want their left backs to actually be defensively good. Like, you can argue
Trent costs Liverpool, mate, and if Liverpool don't attack the way they do, they're going to be shitting goals through Trent.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But they've got a midfield that is presses. So basically, they're relying on winning the press at all times. So they're always on the front foot, aren't they?
They got the midfield.
But when it goes to Arsenal, though, when it comes to Arsenal, when people like,
here's my point on that one, but
some people do give Tommy Asu a bit of stick. They call him Bellerin and that.
No, man. He shits on Bellerin. He overlaps. He does overlap. Saka just doesn't find him.
I was I hosted a ticket space on yesterday, and I said obviously I know I've seen the video, but I'm trying to wind everyone up. I said, well, I want evidence that someone called Tommy Asu a Japanese Bayorin. So I want Fuad to provide me with evidence of it. Hard evidence.
I want a person with a newspaper so that we know the date.
You know what? I've seen Tommy Asu play and I've seen Bellerin play. He's much better than Bellerin.
Yeah.
And you know what? Arsenal fans okay, going forward, he's not the best. But defensively, when we used to struggle with Bellerin, you already know once they're bombing down our right wing with Bellerin, 90% of the time is going in.
All right. I've got one question for both of you, right?
Go for it.
Yeah.
In terms of our right back situation, obviously he's still a conundrum. He's still part of should have been part of our midfield solution as well. And we've let him go out and on in Roma. An anagram. AMN. Sorry, yeah,
Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Yeah.
Because
I didn't agree with it. I thought you should stay in the club.
What's your guys' views and AMN's play? Sort of performances at right back, because we saw him, be very effective when we win the FA Cup at left wing back. But a right back under Unai Emery, when Hector firstly got the groin injury, then he done his knee. He didn't let it stand there, and he did create overlaps.
See, the thing is, right, I like AMN, but he's the one that came out and said he wants to play in the midfield. He wants to play in the midfield. And he was screaming and yelling about playing in the midfield. He didn't want to play right back, much like Oxlade-Chamberlain. And I think that's the reason why we shifted into the midfield. And because he's pushing for, I want midfield, God knows what's happened behind closed doors. And that's probably why Arteta said, okay, you want midfield, we can only give it to you if you go on loan, because we haven't got space in our midfield. This is before our injuries, which is a stupid move, since now with all the red cards and such, we could have used someone like him. I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles is a decent player. I don't think he's our solution. I think at right back, Tom Yass is good. I think our problem is that we need.
Don't you think that at the time, it's I'm not criticising Tom Yass, because at the end of the day, I'll have to be one of the biggest pork chops to criticise him. But what's happening is that when you look at games, and this is going to come to the business end of the season, obviously I've identified the games that I think that are going to define our season, because whether, somehow we've got ourselves in the top 4 fight. So Tottenham away, Chelsea away, West Ham away. And then you've got Wolves home and away. And then you've got at home, you've got Man United and Liverpool, those kind of games.
Big games.
So it's those sort of games. And then what's happening is that you've got tricky games away at, obviously, Leicester in there as well, because you don't know what Leicester they've got the firepower to hurt us. But I put Leicester in a sort of tricky game at home. But the tricky games away, you've got Aston Villa and Steven Gerrard, and
at the moment
Crystal Palace and Paddy Vieira. So that's kind of a tricky. Although Watford should win, but they've got Croydon right now. So these are the games where I think this is where we are showing massive concern about wanting some reinforcements in.
That's a good point. Yeah. That's a very good point. And you know what I'm thinking? Okay, we got to get reinforcements. Kenny Ken. I'm going to give it to Kenny Ken. I'm going to give it to Prince Fuad. Watch this. We go in, right, and we know we need a centre midfielder, we need a striker, or backup right back. I'm saying, I'm going to predict that we've got £55 million to spend. And that's what I reckon we've got to spend. That's my opinion. I don't know what you guys think we got to spend. I don't think we got more than 55 if we're lucky.
Get a striker.
You get a striker.
Get a striker with 55 million. Because
sure,
Calvert-Lewin is injured, and I think that let's be honest. Isak, I think Sociedad, he's a Swedish international. They may go for that in instalments. Everton may want a bit more, but let's face it, Dominic Calvert-Lewin has been injury prone this season, and if we offered straight cash, they have to take it because it's cash, not instalments.
Exactly. What would you reckon for what?
Bro, I just think to myself, why didn't you go out there? You got to have a scouting system. Look at Man City, for instance. They went and bought a striker for 18 million. No one knows of him. I bet you he'll come to the league and rip it up. They don't why can't we have a scouting system? Why do you have to play all your cards on one player who want to come to Arsenal or go Juventus? I hope.
Yeah, but the thing you said, Prince Fuad, right, the first thing you said answered your question. You mentioned a word, Man City. Now, Man City and Chelsea,
different.
The reason why they're the best in terms of recruitment, Liverpool are organic like Arsenal, but they're better because they've got Klopp and they've got an excellent side, more than excellent team. Man City and Chelsea are leading the way because the fact that they've got megalomaniac owners.
Yeah.
Most importantly, they've got the best people behind the business. So, if they're not just paying for the best manager and paying for the best players.
Recruitment, scouts, the whole lot.
Yeah, they're paying for the best academy, recruitment, scouts. They've got the best people behind the scenes. So, of course, Man City are going to do their business right because, it's a Kerry Packer thing, obviously.
Yeah.
It's Kerry Packer. What's Kerry Packer's words, obviously, to our Australian viewers? This is how I get someone to work for me. He will earn so much, and I'll go up to him and offer him more money, and he comes and effing works for me. That was what Kerry Packer used to always say, and that's what Man City and Chelsea do. you pay the guys the best more money, and they come.
It's
and that's in every.
And you have to offer them more. See Fuad right now, right? You're Arteta. You're not Prince Fuad anymore. I've just turned you into Mikel Arteta, but you're better looking. Now, what happens is, right? You are. He's got all this fucking shit happening with him. You're natural, mate. Yeah, bro. You got 55 mil. You're the man. You're the gaffer. Nobody says shit. You can buy any player to fill any gap. You got 55 mil. What the fuck are you gonna do? Because you can't buy 2 players unless you're gonna patch us up like Wenger used to. I'll buy 6 players, and now we're still fucking stuck with them. Remember those days? He's a Mustafi. He's a this. He's a Segan.
If I had 55 million,
what would you do?
All out, just try and get Isak.
You get Isak?
Yeah, I bring Isak in. Yeah.
You bring Isak in.
Why would you go through? Why? The question I need to ask. Sorry, Aussie. Go.
No, I like this. Why?
Why's a fascination with players who we traditionally accept that 2 things will happen? Isak's going to make a really good impression because his defence ain't going to know him. But in terms of his development, his first full season next season, it's going to take long for him, to adapt to the way of playing. Now, an English player, a good English player, and if he gets excellent instructions, then I think that we won't have issues with him adapting to the physical nature of our game. Maybe to our style, but the physical nature of the game, he doesn't traditionally struggle. And I think what's happening right now is that we look at Man City, we look at Chelsea, and we look at the fact that they can afford to go and get the best players in the world, and because they've got good teams, these players develop. If you look at the team that I suppose we should be modelling ourselves in, is Liverpool. They've gone through an organic process of getting the English players, and you look at Mane, Southampton, Henderson, Sunderland, they're leaders of the team. Salah was at Chelsea before. He got only from Roma, but what's happening is that James Milner's a seasoned professional, but he's probably the fittest player at the club.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that if you look at Liverpool, the organic process they got with being British players, I think for me, if you beat Liverpool in the Champions League this season, you win it, because Liverpool are the team to beat the Champions League because of the way they just score goals and just attack.
Do you know when you say Calvin? Do you know when you say Calvin Lewin? No, all right. Calvin Lewin, to me, it's like going to be another Kill Castro from one medical room to another medical room. He's always injured.
Yeah, that's a concern.
He's going to pay 55 million. Like I see a lot of people on YouTube who do call for Calvin Lewin. Go and get him. He's one medical. What's the point? So he gets a better massage at Arsenal, and he got a better sauna at Arsenal.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah, that's valid.
He's injury prone.
If you want a tall, strong player and he's injury prone and you want him for like 2-3 games, go get Carroll for free.
Right. The reason why I'm looking at it, forget. Remember, I was at the Burnley game, and there was a situation where we ran out of ideas, and Saka was putting the crosses in.
Yeah, we need a tall player
like you said, who won't, as I said, doesn't have. Isn't going to be the sort of person, right? I'm a defender, right? A centre forward, right? If I'm playing against Lacazette, I'm laughing because I know he's waiting for me to make the first move, and I'm going to easily, right, clear my lines. But I know that if I had someone, if those crosses are coming in, or low crosses coming, I know that a traditional centre forward, he's going to first and foremost he's going to try and stay on side, and then more so he's on the right. He's been trained to gamble. The minute the guy, he looks around, the cross comes, the guy's prepared to cross, then all of a sudden he's moving, he's looking right. That guy, I'm his man. I'm going to get in front of him and make sure this is mine. So low cross, I'm going to put my foot in. High cross, I'm going to get in front of him. And I think that's what you have with the traditional centre forwards. That when you talk about, DCL and, even Harry Kane,
even Ivan Toney,
Tony, and even Vlahovic, you want someone who's going to gamble, and I think that's the problem with the things. You talk about Isak, and from what I've seen with him at Sociology in Sweden, the European Championships, is someone who's a bit like a Aubameyang, where he gets the ball, runs at players, and then he kind of makes his mark from deep, which is great because Thierry Henry's changed the way we've played the game. But tight defences. Who's going to make that run and try and get in front of the defender? Because that's what you need against the teams we're going to be playing from now on. Not the 6-pointers, but the teams that are going to just be there to survive and just have a simple game plan against us.
See, the Dominic Calvert-Lewin thing I like. The Isak thing I'm a bit 50-50 on. But you know what? I'm not buying a striker. You guys are going to say, what? No. I'll buy Tielemans and I put him in the midfield. I'd sort out my midfield problems. I'd put Partey beside him. I'd put ESR on the left. And I'd actually put Martinelli as my striker. And I would say, Martinelli, you're my number 9 now. I had enough of you cutting in. I'm going to put you up front. I'm going to put ESR in there. And now I'm going to solidify the midfield.
So if you do a 3, who's going to be your third player? Because are you going to play Odegaard further deep?
Well, we're going to, because he's been playing a 4-2-3. He's playing a 4-2. He's playing that 4-2-3-1. Yeah. I'm going to throw Martinelli out. I'm going to play Martinelli out as the one, as the.
Take Lacazette and say.
Take out Lacazette and Martinelli comes in. ESR pulls to the left. Saka plays to the right. Odegaard plays in the center of the pitch. And then
who enables them to get in space? Because I think what it is that obviously Tielemans, we have to be dominating the midfield. Because I think what's happened is that one of the things, the good things
he would control the midfield.
Yeah, all right, definitely. But in terms of like the space creation, if you look at the games, it's Lacazette creating that space. So do we take that away?
But you see,
Martinelli can only do that for us.
But you see, the thing is, we're using Lacazette as a false 9. He's not even playing a number 9. So we're using him as a false 9 and getting him to feed out to our wings. I don't want to play the false 9 anymore. Martinelli's going to be my Aguero. That's what he's going to be. And I want Aguero up front.
Street footballer. So you basically want a street footballer who you want him to get in front of the players, but you want him to also come from deep and right. Bloody hell, I'm going to run at this guy and boom, shoot.
He won't have to come as deep anymore with Tielemans there.
Yeah.
He won't have to pull, like Lacazette's doing a lot of work now because we don't have a good centre midfielder. And with Tielemans there, I watch this guy play and I say, everyone talks about James Maddison. Sorry guys, wrong midfielder. There's one midfielder in Leicester that no one's looking at. And I'm happy that they're really not because he's the real star in that team. And that's who I want at Arsenal. But the problem is, can we get him?
Can we get him? Can we get him?
That's my problem. What's so attractive about us?
The money's there. I'm trying to say, in terms of like the bargain, the money's there. We've got the money, but what's happening right now? Are we going to move quickly enough in order that he doesn't get offers from everywhere else, and he uses us like a lot of players have done over the years as bargaining tools. But that's football.
Guy's reading my mind. Kenny is reading my mind. So the next thing I was going to say, can we attract any friggin' player to this club right now? Who do we attract? How do we attract them? Do you know what I mean? Like,
the selling point is we're in the battle for the top 4 with 4 clubs: Man United, Tottenham. West Ham. And dare I say it, and people could, dare I say it, that at the moment, the team that's actually playing really well in that position, although we don't ever get discussed, is Wolves. The biggest elephant in the room is Wolves.
Yeah, man, dark horse.
As much, but they got the best. They got better midfields than Man United. They got a better midfield than Tottenham. They got a better midfield than West Ham. They got a better midfield than us.
Yes,
they control football matches. Only that Jimenez. They need more help from Jimenez. But if you look, can you imagine the players that they don't have? If they got Neves fit, they got Podence fit.
See, that's the one thing with Neves.
I wanted Neves to come to Arsenal. I was so gassed when he was coming, but they got Xhaka.
I would rather have Neves and Xhaka, but in this case, the reason
Neves too, because
he's a 6-7 out of 10 every game.
Xhaka is slow, and he's the master of throwing games away.
Yeah, of course, because he's slow.
Yeah. I'm slow. Fucking grab, elbow, bite, shoot.
I'd rather Neves though. Neves is a bit quicker than him.
Over Tielemans?
Smarter than him. I'd rather Tielemans, but I'd rather striker now because our thing is, all right.
Fair enough.
Regardless how good your midfield is, if you don't score goals, then it's irrelevant. You need to score goals.
If he didn't get injured last year of his head injury, would you have gone for Raul Jimenez?
Yeah, all day.
But you wouldn't touch him now because he hasn't. You're not sure about his form at the moment because he's feeling himself back in the football because of what happened last year.
But even knowing like the one obviously who's most probably we're gonna get him, Djokovic from is it Real Madrid?
Oh, Jovic, on loan.
Jovic. I think he'd be all right for Arsenal. He's quite tall.
He turned us down 3 years ago. He used us as leverage to go Real Madrid.
Yeah, but you know what is? If he's there just even for thing, we just need to strike.
So you're saying so for Fuad, you're saying that you're happy to paper over the cracks for the striker right now and then deal with it in summer. So a loan for Jovic, just sticky tape it.
We
just loan him.
Like I don't get to be honest with you, I think it's all. So my opinion is I think it's all a shambles because at the same time, why we get him? Like I'm gonna be honest, like even though I do back I have backed Arteta, and I said to me,
I noticed.
All right,
guys. But this guy here is Arteta in. Okay, 100%, and that's what I love about him. And that's what I love about him. No, because he that's who he is, and that is it.
But he thinks I'm the emperor with no clothes. He has all these little discussions, and he thinks I haven't worked out that he's Arteta in. When he knows full well that I tell anyone who
whispers about him in corners. Whispers about him in corners.
Like I say to my brother Northside, big up Northside all the time. I tell Northside, I will make my judgment in me. But I'm gonna be honest. I can't, like I said to you the other day, Steve, I can't defend his mistakes. And then any Arsenal fan who defends his mistakes are stupid.
Mm-hmm.
How can you have players out on loan like Glenn Doozy and send out Nathan Niles, and now you want to go buy some flop?
Are they sackable? You're not answering, are you?
He's saying it. He's hearing it. He ain't saying nothing, so I'm saying, I'm waiting.
Listen. Loan deals, they're not sackable offensive.
Squeezing out of this.
Sold deals, they're sackable offensive. Like for instance, if they would have sold Gwen Doozy and sold Nathan Niles, they're sackable offenses because they're loan. They're coming back.
Money from and he used them. But the question is the manager entitled to, even though we feel they're good players, is the manager entitled to say to a player, one, you're a bad influence on my the other players, you're showing indiscipline, which is undermining me. Is he entitled to say, well, I don't want you around the club? Is he entitled to say to his club captain, off you go, and that we have differences on a personal level?
I think that was, but he's put personal, professional, and on the field. Aubameyang had problems everywhere.
So it's or in the classic thing, I know Aussie Gooner. If you went and managed, I'll keep it local for you. Say if you went up to manage like the, like I said, one of Melbourne.
I'm a Wanderers fan, so you might as well just say the Wanderers. Done.
Wanderers, yeah. If you manage the Wanderers, right, aren't you entitled to say, right, I've wanted to manage them all a long time. I've been watching from afar, but I would like this player in this position rather than the player we've got at the moment to improve us. I would like us to change the way I play, and I think that the players we've got at the moment aren't going to be able to follow the way I want to play.
Of course.
So I'm going to need reinforcements elsewhere. So when I come in, I'm going to lie to get people on side and say, right, everyone starts from fresh. So I'm going to keep, basically keep people
settle the ship.
And then when you get your foot in, so yeah, by the way, I'm sorry, mate. I've recommended to the board that we move you on because you're not part of my plans. Is he entitled to do that, a manager?
Of course he is. It's cutthroat. I know it sounds horrible, but it's cutthroat because end of the day, we've got players that if they're not taking their career seriously. We've got players that if they're going to perform, they're going to get paid. If they don't perform, they're going to get paid. So end of the day, everybody wants the best for Arsenal, right? Everybody here wants best for Arsenal, including everyone that's viewing right now. And comment below if you guys don't think we're right on anything that we're saying. But if you want what's best for Arsenal, then you need to take away the personal from the player. Because remember, the player signed for Arsenal for the cash. Aubameyang got his money. See the guys behind me? All these guys behind me, notice New Jersey's old names because these guys came to play for this football club, to play for the club. These guys that are with us right now are coming to play for one, better career, build their career, and to make some money. Now, if that's the case, that's perfectly fine. Play well, build your career, get paid, and that's the best for Arsenal. Don't play well, get paid, sit on the bench. I need to do what's best for Arsenal. And whatever's best for Arsenal, I'm for. So I don't care if it's Aubameyang out. I don't care if it's Lacazette out. I don't care if it's every single player out. As long as Arsenal are climbing that ladder and doing better, that's what I want. And I think that's what every single person wants as an Arsenal fan. If you're going to follow one player, look, I'm an Ian Wright fan. Ian Wright brought me to this club, right? When he finished up from Arsenal, right? Did I leave Arsenal?
You're my 1 millionth person who said that, Ian Wright in terms of like the way he conducted himself. And I think with, because talking about the Ian Wright thing as well, is that it was his humble. I think, obviously I've had my difference with Ian Wright because I think he's a bit of a flip-flop and he can turn on people. But you know what? That's what Ian Wright is no different to anyone else. He hurts when people criticise him and he reacts better. But I think with Ian Wright, I think what a lot of Arsenal fans like about Ian Wright is that he got doors slammed in his face by clubs where he went on trial, did well, but they wanted someone who they thought was who they thought had a better football brain, even though he was naturally gifted. So his humble beginnings, wasn't even really registered with Dulwich Hamlet, then went to Crystal Palace, then went to Arsenal. I thought, the story, we like Ian Wright's story. And then the way he scored the goals, the way he celebrated, the way he conducted himself like a kid who's basically, the sort of person, right? Even if Arsenal won against Bognor Regis, he will celebrate the goal with Vega. And I went, I like him. That's my club. And sometimes I think, I don't really like fans who support a player because of the club. I get it with Ian Wright because Ian Wright's all of us. I get it in terms of how he conducts himself in the field and how he comes across. He says the sort of things that we don't see the diplomats say on TV. So I understand why Ian Wright's popular with Arsenal fans, but popular the fact that his story is just extraordinary. How he never got discovered or got rejected, I'll never know.
No. And Ian Wright, like I said, even when he left, I stuck with Arsenal. I still liked Ian Wright. I was gutted when he was gone, but that didn't take him away from Arsenal. That kept me with Arsenal.
I wasn't dead when he was gone.
I fell apart.
I think with Wrighty, I think the way we played, because Ian Wright was such an extraordinary finisher.
Shit, yeah.
I think if you think about all centre forwards, because Henry wasn't a centre forward. You think about Poacher, he's probably the best centre forward, number 9. Well, we played number 8 that we've ever had. Yeah,
but you know who used to help him? Rocky, he was the best, man. He was bad.
You know what? Another thing why English, the reason why I think he was one of the best players when I was younger. He crosses over to like the British communities, the white European community, white British community, because he's such a bloody England fan. You've got to see it. Seriously, he is so passionate about England. You know what? I'll tell you, I think he's a bigger fan of the fans who go abroad.
Yeah, Kenny, you see that thing in the video clip? Is it when they told him, calm down?
Yeah, or whenever England scores, he goes absolutely ballistic off camera.
Mate,
you know what I mean? He loves this country.
Man, those are the days. These days that we're in now aren't the same. And what can I say? We got to look back to nostalgia. And now we're looking at signings. Now we're looking at players. And now everybody's on the trend. And the elephant in the room, and Fuad, this is all for you, brother.
Yeah.
Mr. Arteta. No. The news has come out, right, that he's apparently been offered another extension. Okay. Now, the season's not done. So, obviously, obviously the Kroenkes are happy with what they're seeing, right? Now, this might show how serious the Kroenkes are about Arsenal since we're sitting in 6th and without a new striker. But they're offering Arteta a new contract where everybody's saying this guy's got no clue, including me against Burnley because he played a 4-1-4-1. If anyone saw that review, fuck, I went off. Now, is this concerning as an Arsenal fan that he hasn't finished the season, he hasn't got the 5th or 4th, because I'd say at least 5th or 4th, but he's already been offered a contract, right, regardless of how he finishes this year?
Well, that's rumours, isn't it?
Oh, mate, I'm hearing. He's in America. Oh, mate, I'm telling you, I'm hearing big things that it's going to happen.
I said to people,
would you give him 2 years? Would you give him 2 years?
No.
No way.
Because he's finished 8th twice in a row, so he's got to prove something. So
end of the season.
4, then maybe if he finishes top 4, then maybe extend it for 6 months or a year. If he finishes top 4, but giving him 2 years now because they're saying he wants Man City. I don't think Man City. Let me
want
tell you,
him.
Man City ain't run by Americans. They're run by Arabs. They will not go and get the most cheapest manager out there. Think, oh, let's go take Arteta off Arsenal after Guardiola. They will go. See, they'll when it comes to Guardiola leaving.
But
if Guardiola do leave in the summer, for instance, you got the Ajax manager who's got 6 months left on his contract. They're going to buy him out. You got Luis Enrique who would have about a year left on his contract. They'll go and buy him out. You got the other German manager now. They'll go and buy him out. You think that these people are going to go and say to Arsenal, we'll give you 2 million compensation to get Arteta? No.
But do you think that's fake news? Do you think? And I think not the contract. No, I think the contract is real news. I think.
No, the contract.
No, I think. No,
the contract come out. No, see, the contract come out saying Man City wants him.
No.
When I heard that,
I'm not.
The contract.
I think no. See, what I think they're trying to do is deflect here and feel me on this. What they do is they say, "We're offering him." What I'm trying to say is they're going to give you 2 years, right? And if they give him 2 years right now with the way things are going, everybody throws their hands up in the air. But if they go and throw some bullshit story out there and say, oh, because he might be going to Manchester City and we're going to be left to shambles, and that's why we're doing it, it kind of numbs it down. That's why I think this could be a real story. It's not true, though. It's not going to happen. It's just another cloud.
Tom Hag was 6, Steve. Tom Hag, the Hag guy from the Tom Hag, if I'm saying his name right, from
Ten Hag.
From Ajax. What's his name?
Ten Hag,
whatever his name is. He's got 6 months left on his contract when after in the next 2 after May. You think
that's interesting? That's interesting.
Yeah, but he's probably going to be. He's United bound.
Look, Man United won Pochettino, but do you think this guy wants to go?
He's United
going to go from Ajax, and they're going to come on, bro. Man City are going Grammy tomorrow. As soon as Guardiola goes in, this guy plays the same football.
I don't think Guardiola's going anywhere.
You know the situation, right? You said it's fake news. I think it's actually true. The simple reason is that the club appointed Arteta as their, 2 years ago as the team manager. So they give him a promotion. And one of the things is that if you wanted to be churlish and you wanted to be like, be one of the biggest conspirators out there, like we got loads of them.
Me a little bit.
And you could say that when Man City let Arteta come to Arsenal, they already said, right, there's a job for you here. Could that conversation gone like this with Pep being involved? Right. I'm only going to be here for about a few years. You go to Arsenal, get your experience, and then when I leave, the job's yours. Could that have been the situation? Not saying it happened, but let's just play devil's advocate that conversation arose. And then, all right, so if we take away that conversation, let's talk about the biggest elephant that involves Arsenal. Why that is? Don't you think that is why people like me get angry to the fact that we wanted, when Unai Emery left the football club, we only envisaged and contemplated an experienced manager because of the size of their football club. We got this guy who was the first choice for Unai Emery. Now, him getting a 2-year contract is just another example of the club giving the footballing.
To be honest with you, I got a good comeback for that.
Go for it. Let's see.
All right, the comeback is because it makes sense. See, if Kenny's right though, if Guardiola did say that, then Mikel Arteta will go back to Man City because here we look at it like funding, players, Guardiola, set. I don't really have to do what I got to come in and I know the system they play. I'm going to come straight in the system. So yeah, I don't think Arteta. I think he rejected a 2-year contract because what would you want to be playing with? Would you rather be playing with Silva or Saka? Or
say Man City win the Champions League, right? And say I've basically put it out there that conversation happens, right? And he's had, because you want someone who have managerial experience He's got his managerial experience of Arsenal. He's managed a club that he's inherited from, Unai and Wenger. And it's probably one of the biggest jobs in football, the most difficult job in football, because we have been at the top four. He hasn't quite achieved that. But, the media, Pep included, are giving Arsene. I said, right, this guy's doing a great job. He's starting something, building something. That could be enough for him to get a job at City if Pep wins the Champions League and does the Frank Boff. Because that is what I don't know that conversation. It probably didn't, but if we played devil's advocate, and this is in line with the fact that he is highly rated outside Arsenal by Wenger, Mourinho, Pochettino, and most importantly, Pep, as he's going to be a super boss. Probably he's probably advised, we don't want you to go, but get managerial experience and come back here and manage my club. Could be.
Yeah, that makes sense. I won't put it past it. He's not. Yeah, because I'm not saying. I know people call him clueless and call him thing, but when Arsenal played Man City, he did really well against them. So
we lost, though. We lost.
They didn't do really well.
Guardiola, though. But if you had the players, Guardiola's figured if you had our players, they would have won.
But we lost. We
lost the game. But I tell you, I'm saying we gave good players.
We know we lost a match, not because we went out of 10 men. We couldn't manage the. We didn't have game management.
In-game management was wrong. Was off a little bit.
But I'm saying to you is with Man City, all right. It's like no, if he gets top 4 with Arsenal, say if Mikel Arteta do finish top 4, then there's a possibility that Man City will look at him.
But what's happening? But what's happening, right? What if all they needed him to do was have managerial experience?
He's gone. He won't sign a 2-year contract.
But no, I'm talking about not Arsenal. I'm talking about Man City. What was if that was the deal to come?
Yeah, that means he's gone,
and then take over from Pep.
And then
from Pep, then he'd be gone. And the thing is, he'd have the tools to try to compete with the title.
So that justifies. So what Kenny Ken's saying, that justifies the move that the Kroenkes have made by trying to keep him.
Yeah, but
somewhat.
Is he? But the Kroenkes try and keep him. But you got to just look at if I was in this situation now, right, and I'm looking at it, Bernard Silva.
No, that's if that's true. Yeah,
looking at it like Kevin De Bruyne, Xhaka. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
of course it is. But if that conversation has, if
he won't change.
Do you know what though? If he rejects Arsenal, good. It just goes to show no ambition from the board members.
See,
if he rejects Arsenal, look, we've always been Man City's breeding team, regardless. We got American Noahs who breeds for the Arabs because the Arabs are just paying for them. Like it started off with Colo Torres,
you know what that is?
And now with Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, but you know what that is for you, Fuad? Is that people think that everything Man City and Chelsea is so innovative and modern. They're just doing what everyone does in football. If you see the best, copy the best. Everton, when they won those titles in the 80s, copied Liverpool because they were the best and they just happened to be around the corner. No one has an original idea. We all copy everyone else's. Yeah. When we do history, we copy, we plagiarise everything.
We start playing 4-3-3 and all that.
Yeah. Every system you see was played 40 years ago. Pressing used to be played in the 60s. 4-3-3 was in 1966 World Cup final. Nothing's new. So, as I said, the best poach the best from other clubs to make themselves stronger. Bayern Munich, look what they do. They do it.
It's a fair point.
If he goes, I'll be a realist, all right? If he do, if say for instance, Mikel Arteta goes to Man City, all right? And do win the titles. If he wins the title with Manchester City,
was that going to make him a great manager? Or was that? Are you
no.
It
won't be a great manager. But it won't make him a great manager because there's great players there. Do you get me? So it won't make him a great manager. But the Arsenal fans will turn around and say, "Oh, we could have kept Mikel Arteta. He would have won us a league title." No.
You would say that. You would bloody say that. You're saying Arsenal fans. You see. That's the thing. No. You see. For me. You would be the first one on bloody Instagram, and you'd go on Instagram, and I'd be on the live with you, going, "You fuck."
Kenny, how do you want me saying things like that? I've been calling you on. I saying, "I told you." He's won the title of Man City.
Can't wait for it. But you see, for me, I looked at it, and I saw a flip side to the coin. I said to myself, if I'm the Kroenkes and I want this guy to sign on so I can continue on this process, fake news is easy to spread. Bullshit stories are easy to make, right? If I want to offer, look, imagine if the Kroenkes wanted to give him 2 years contract without anything. So he's 2 years. If they hand him 2 years now with everyone having the shits, that's just going to friggin' ruffle feathers even further. But if they put and this is flip side, this is the other side I'm thinking, if they put a fake story out there, make it out like Manchester City are after him when they may not be, it justifies their actions of giving him 2 years, right? Yeah. And so that way it's not as bad and you don't ruffle too many feathers. And for me, I look at that, right? And if they did give him 2 years, now feel me on this, do the Kroenkes really want Arsenal in the Champions League? Now, before you answer, just because you get Champions League money, right, and just because you see, qualification and money as you go through the qualification rounds and that, it doesn't work good for the Kroenkes. And here's why. Because the level of investment that you're going to have to make in the club from there on is going to be substantial. Why? Feel me on this real quick before you answer. If we go into Champions League and get our asses kicked like we were at Bayern Munich, we won't just be complaining about Premier League. We're going to be complaining, we're in the Champions League. We can't battle Bayern Munich. And what was the point of coming to the Emirates? All these discussions will happen again, and people will be, rioting. So from the Kroenkes' point of view, do they really want us in the Champions League when they can continue to keep us out of the Champions League, continue to make money because the club is still growing in worth, and they keep us out? They keep us out so that way if we go in, oh no, now we need to spend 180 million pounds a season. Do you see where I'm coming from? That's my theory, that these guys don't want us in there.
The argument is, right, they would say that in terms of like expenditure played in the last since Arsene Wenger's left the football club and since they've had full control, that they've actually, in real terms, outspent Man City and Chelsea and Man United. With the exception of Man United, they outspent Liverpool, and that in terms of player salaries, they're paying the highest wages. So they would say, and Josh is quoted as saying that obviously with now we've got more control of the football club. He failed to say total control. We have to spend the money now. It's our decision. We have to spend it. So he would argue that's not the case. He would say, and he's right in saying that, because you can't, pay Mesut Ozil 350 and pay Aubameyang that money.
That's no longer the case, though. Our players right now are not on big wages. Remember that. Not now. Not now.
Still our player. He's on 350.
One player. That's one. We cleared out all the other ones, and Kolasinac just left. Kolasinac is gone.
If you look at the current players as well, compared to the players at other clubs, we do pay. So obviously, we're clearing the decks.
Well, we have to.
Xhaka stayed and got an improved contract. So Xhaka may have been 100,000. He's probably on about 180 now. That's still a lot more money than some of the big stars that Man City would be getting, especially new, because what
that we know of. Yeah, of course.
And you look at the highest paid player at Man City, right? The highest paid player at Man City is probably De Bruyne. He's probably getting 290. The highest paid player at Chelsea, as far as I know, is Kante. I don't know and he was on nearly 300. That's still 50,000 a week less than what we were paying Ozil and what we believe to be Ober's be playing. Mkhitaryan was on about 220 when he was here. So at the time,
and Willian,
Kroenke played. We will do that because we have been doing it.
But is the reason they're doing it because we're in a shit's position?
People like us quiet, we're going to have to do better than the last 16, because if we don't, they're going to go after us. So they're going to make a token gesture of thinking, right, why don't we have a situation where we don't shadow box at the competition? Let's try, because we've seen over the pond at Tottenham, over the Seven Sisters Road, well, on a smaller budget, they got to the final on a smaller budget and a tiny budget with the same players. How is that allowed to happen?
But with that argument, which is solid, why the chopping and changing of Vlahovic and the shortchanging it, and Juventus outbidding us? If we've got that much, if we really want to make Champions League, and this is where I'm going with it, if we really wanted to make Champions League, it wouldn't have taken us 20 days to get Vlahovic to get it out the door. We would have said it. We would have gone in there, got it done, and got out, because we want Champions League.
do you think that clearing the decks was to try and put a package over, and they said, right, this is what we think you're worth. There's a big money, and that we kind of forced Juventus, because what Italian club, what foreign clubs always seem to do when they go in for players that we want, or ultimately, try and get our players off, the always stumbling figures wages. Oh, we're not going to take a bad man because we can't afford his wages.
That's it. He's right. That's why we can't get rid of them. That's why we had to cancel all their contracts. But pay that money for them.
But you see,
but in terms of Juventus, right? We got Vlahovic, but I think what's happening is that what got it over the line was probably the fact, all right, Arsenal really want this player. You know what? And we need to. We're on the fifth. We're fifth in the in La Serie A. We need to get the Champions League because we're Juventus, and who knows, we can make a fluky challenge for the league. We're getting him. Arsenal want him, so we basically probably forced Juventus' hand.
I know that it's like the Vlahovic deal went out the window, right? And I'm trying to see a little bit more why. Okay, he didn't want it. Let's say the next player comes along. Let's say the next Vlahovic comes along. Right? And now Chelsea is up for him. And he's happy to go between two clubs, right? He doesn't care. We're not going to have the push from the Kroenkes, and this is my belief, in this transfer window. Let's say this transfer window right now, the next best thing comes out, and we're battling Man United for a striker right now. This, and I do not believe that we're going to be able to battle them for two reasons. One, because we don't have Champions League, and that's because maybe our manager, maybe our owners. But the other one is we don't have the investment. I don't believe we're going out there whole hog for a player. And the reason...
The investment's there, but it's not the super investment that we actually need.
Exactly. And I think the reason why is because I don't think the Kroenkes want the pressure of the Champions League, because that's massive pressure. There's not enough coming in because, look, Arsenal right now, we sit where we are. We do fuck all, right? Feel me on this. Is this club growing at about 3 to 4% every year in overall cost, like what it's worth? It is, right? So if I do sweet fuck all, spend 156 and spend nothing more, don't get in the Champions League, my nest egg is growing. I don't care about it. I love the NFL.
You've just explained why Arteta's got a blank check. You've just answered the question. That's if that's where you're coming from. That the Kroenkes do not want the sort of.
Do I give him 2 more years?
Make that commitment towards like getting Champions League football, then you've just as good as said that exemplifies the reason why
Arteta's getting 2 more years.
Why they want to keep things ticking over, and they want to sort of like token
rolling
all day, or so we say straight phantom gesture into the for the
But I think
it's called doing this.
I think,
dangling the keys.
I don't know. See, I might slightly disagree with you on that.
Please.
Okay.
Only because if it was like only I slightly disagree with you now, because I can understand it was Stan Kroenke when he was, but now because Josh have took fully control of the club. That's what rumors are saying. He's fully control.
Because Stan didn't give a shit.
You can see since whatever, but since he took over, right? You can see like he has given money. And like
it's not enough, but
in terms of like,
but I don't think he's going to turn around and say, "You are using this. Make sure we don't finish top 4."
No. It's not saying no. Finish top 4. He's not jumping for top 4. He just he spent 156 million where we needed to spend at least 250. Every time we go into a transfer window, we need 4 players. We get 2, and that's the same thing that's happened here. It's happening all over again.
You look at the circumstance with it, right? We gotta be honest with ourselves. Like, you gotta understand, right? We're not in a strong league, and we finished 8th, right? Our manager is still learning his trade at Arsenal, so you're not going to attract the world class players. You got to be real about it. Like if we do get Champions League football this season, all right, you can attract one superstar, or 1 or 2 superstars, and you build from there. But you can't turn around and tell me, because when you're in the Champions League football, all right, the players who went on Champions, like, you go and buy a superstar, it's like a player who's a superstar and people love him and he's playing Champions League football. You get more shirt sales, you get more venue, more people will come and want to see him. So I don't think they think the only reason why it's working now is because Arsenal fans, every time there's a big circumstances, they're going to release a new top. And what they're going to do, they're going to buy it. Oh, that looks nice. I like that.
Exactly. And so what they do is they get their money otherwise without having Champions League. No Champions League, and they're making money.
The Kroenkes will have to spend.
Yeah, but that's the same with Man United, though. Because of the reputation and because of the work that Sir Alex did for some Man United and the work that, the Henrys, Perez's, the Wengers, if you like.
Well, they're gone, no, bro. That's all over.
But the thing is, that's not sustainable. That eventually you're going to have to, go back to the proper plane, because the thing is right now is that it's working now, but what's happening is that Man City are catching up with Man United because their whole reason why Man United are catching up with Man City catching up with Man United is because of the success on the pitch. Chelsea have gone past us. They're a more valuable club than Arsenal because not only do they have the same sort of like market in terms of shared deals, shirt sales, merchandise, and obviously TV deals. They're successful. So what's happening right now is that if you look at the amount of supporters that Chelsea have around the world, they're eclipsing us because they're winning. So this approach that Kroenkes are doing is going to work, but there's going to be a time when it's going to crash.
Exactly.
And it's going to crash because eventually you're going to have to reinvent yourself. And how do you reinvent yourself? Be successful on the pitch. And at the moment, we're not successful on the pitch. So it's only going to work, minimalised. We're only going to get away with having inexperienced managers and giving Arteta a blank check for only so long, to the extent that we're going to only realise when we see Newcastle, and yes, Newcastle, who won't won a trophy since 1969, start winning trophies regularly and start getting that top.
It'll happen.
And maybe win the league for us. And that's when the penny will drop.
It'll happen. And my belief, and so I know Fuad wants to jump in, my belief, right, is that the Kroenkes do not see this club like Roman Abramovich sees Chelsea and all that. They see this club as just my superannuation, my money sitting in the bank. I've invested, let's say, for example, and the reason why I'm talking this way is because I work for a massive American company, massive, and I see what's happening to Liverpool fans. And if you guys see what's happening, guys, at Liverpool, you will in 2 years. And the reason why I say it is because if I invest, let's say, 1.8 billion into a club, and I bought the club for 1.8 billion, and I spend minimal every time, and I can get 3 or 4% growth every time, and I keep climbing and growing. They don't care about winning trophies. They don't care about nothing, because every year I get 3 or 4% growth on my overall. So end of the day, why do I need the added pressure of having to spend more to maybe make more? They're not going to make more. They'll rather just sit there, sit pretty. And this is why I'm looking at it, because I do believe Arteta needs to be backed in this transfer window. I think Fuad will agree with me. He needs to be backed in this transfer window. I think everybody he knows he needs to be backed a little bit. He needs it.
I think they're going to back him.
But
they're going to back him.
Exactly, right? They're going to back him. I want to see them back him serious, because if they really want this manager to succeed, they should be able to listen to him, and he's going to say to them, I need this or this, and they need to...
They have back... See, bear in mind, Steve, they haven't... They have... Bro, it's not rocket science to know they're backing him. Even Kenny agreed with me.
Dude,
he said...
Yep. Okay. Tell me how. Because our team was a shambles after Wenger. Sorry to cut you off. Wenger left us a shambles. Unai Emery came in and didn't get the players that he wanted. Now, you're saying that they backed him. You know why they backed him? Because it wasn't we needed one player or two player after Unai Emery left. We needed a squad. And they gave him 156. That's a joke of a friggin' window. 156. He should have been given 256.
All right. Even though that's the case, all right.
Yeah.
Emery writ his targets who he wanted, all right?
Didn't get him.
He said to the Arsenal board, like he said in his interview, I read Thomas Partey, Wilfred Zaha, and Kieran Tierney, all right? They want to go Wilfred, they want to go Nicolas Pepe, they want to go Kieran Tierney, and they went and got, and they waited. But then what happened was, is that Arteta seen, as soon as Arteta see, like, oh, wait there, Emery wanted Partey, they wouldn't got it for Emery wanted Partey before Arteta did. As soon as Arteta said go and get him, they put the 55 million down straight away, or 45 million pounds straight away. They didn't even hesitate. All right, he said to him, "I want Ben White." They didn't even hesitate. Boom.
But Ben White wasn't the same season. Partey came in. No, but listen, you bought one player. You bought Partey, big deal. The next season you come in. Sorry, Fuad, you're doing two. This is not one transfer window. This is a club that needed a centre back. This is a club that needed a right back. This is a club... Yeah, but over 2 seasons. So, yeah, I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm saying we needed a centre-back. We needed a centre midfielder. We needed a left back. We needed a striker, right? We needed all this. You know why we needed this? Because they knew that they wouldn't make the top 10 if they didn't give this guy money.
So we're in a rut. So the elephant in the room is signings.
He needs to be backed. If they're serious, I believe if the Kroenkes are serious, they need to back him. They have to. And I believe that if he doesn't get at least 60 or 65 mil in this transfer window now, they're not backing him. And that's my opinion. And I just believe that the Kroenkes, as businessmen.
He's responsible for Arsenal.
Look, Josh is just a front man. Stanley's in the back. He's just giving it to Josh because he doesn't want to come over. See, here you go, Josh. Go to London. I want to stay here with the NFL team. Josh runs the club. It's like, son, this is what you do. Yes, Dad.
At the same time, Josh just goes, Mum, just remember who put Dad into power and give him all our money. It's not the same. You know, everyone goes on about, is his missus who's minted, the Walmart lady.
The Walmart, yeah. But he was rich too.
I think what I mean is that
she's the one who rolls in the money.
I think the thing with English football fans is that the good thing is we know our worth. Like, for instance, you ask any English football fan, do you want the geezer from Camden, boy made good, Arsenal fan all his life, self-made multi-millionaire, or do you want the geezer from China who's worth 26 billion? You want the geezer from China. You don't want the local boy.
You want the local lad. Look for what? 100%. Fucking straight away.
And that's the thing. The problem is every team, most clubs now have millionaires. QPR got billionaires.
Yeah.
Bournemouth got a billionaire. But the problem is, what Arsenal need is that you don't need a new owner. As far as it's so simple. The only owner we need is this Abramovich type owner.
Yeah.
Or with a megalomaniac, you'll sack and fire and say, right.
Ruthless.
And right. The downside is you're going to get a manager, a top manager is going to be there for 2 or 3 years. But if you're winning trophies at the volume of Chelsea and Man City, I couldn't care less.
Fuck him.
Yeah, I agree.
Fuck him.
It's like I was saying, like, it's like, remember the day we were speaking here when I see, like, with that, when Arsenal fans were getting hyped with Tommy, that Eck guy. What?
He was, if he was serious, he would have put a real bid in, not that shitty one that he did.
Steve, the guy can't afford. He can't afford Arsenal. Do you know
exactly.
what?
It was biscuits he gave him. He gave him biscuit bid. It was a biscuit bid. I looked like, this guy's not serious. He's having a laugh. He's having a laugh, mate.
The only thing is, I tell you who can afford Arsenal, and he's an Arsenal fan, is the Prince of Qatar, bro. To me, he is.
Well, he's the Prince of Qatar, and you're Prince Fuad. Listen to me, mate. You're Prince Fuad. He's a Prince of Qatar. Hook it up, mate. What are you doing here, mate? Get on the phone. Get the phone out.
I emails him every day. Buy my club. Buy my club. Buy my club.
Mate, get emails, man. You make the phone call, mate. I've got 2 more points on Arteta because everyone's going to ask this, and this is the reason why I get on Arteta outers, right? And Fuad's going to love me because he's an Arteta winner. If Arteta was to be gone tomorrow, to all the Arteta out guys, right? Who comes in and how the hell do you get them in? Because all I know is that when a manager comes to a team, he needs to see finance package, he needs to see owners, he needs to see the players that he's got, like Fuad mentioned, he covered it really well at Manchester City. Which manager is going to be attracted to Arsenal right now?
No one.
Well, it depends how it is, though. Yeah, Fuad, you first.
Fuad, you got it perfect.
I'll tell you why. You know what? I'll tell you now. Kenny. Breaking news out of Newcastle. You know Arsenal was linked with our midfielder, Bruno Guimaraes from Lyon?
Yeah, he's going to Newcastle.
He's got Newcastle.
Yeah, he's running in Newcastle. There you go.
He signed for Newcastle. There it is. Breaking news on my phone.
There you go.
Money.
Yeah. So Arsenal will live for free.
Thank you, Kroenke. So nobody.
Yo, listen.
Realistically, nobody.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying to you that this is the fam. That, like, I don't know. Like,
how do you get him in? How do you get him in? How do you get a new manager in? Who do you get in? How do you get him in? Who do you get in?
You know what? Till these owners come in, it's like I tell you something. We won't get a decent manager in because of these owners. Exactly. So if they do sack Arteta, they most probably wait for Eddie Howe to get sacked and bring him to Newcastle.
You know the question
Harry Redknapp?
I was going to ask, right? We have no choice but a set Arteta if results go down south and he's not meeting his target.
Exactly.
But if we were to say right now, during the season, we're Arteta out as we want him sacked no matter what.
Right now,
we have him sacked now. Obviously, right now, you know, you have to be realistic. The season started, and you know, he's you know, as he isn't we want him sacked because we want better, but he's not at the moment. We admit he isn't a sackable. He hasn't committed sackable offences because of the fact that the season is still ongoing and that we're still got in a fight for the top 4. But if there's a situation where we finish 7th or 8th, and then we look at it all, you know, at the end of the season, we have to go by that approach where we have to make managers available, good managers, and if it means losing out at Ten Hag, but thinking, all right, let's see a British manager who with enough experience and let's see what he's doing on a smaller budget.
Graham Butter, you're talking about Harry Potter.
I don't know.
Bit of magic with Harry Potter.
I don't know. You know, at the moment, Brighton, you know, Arsenal fans and some Brighton fans think he's Graham, but you know they really need to start winning rather than drawing games. So I only lost 4. But you know, if you look at what he's doing with a smaller budget, he becomes an attractive proposition because let's face it, he's going to get a bigger budget at Arsenal, and you know he'll be a credible appearance if that's where Arsenal want to go. But if you want big, then as I said before, you need to get a new owner. If you want Arteta out and you want a big name, a new owner's got to come in. And the reason why I say that is because not a new owner, the right new owner. Mikel Arteta. Because a new owner could just come in and just follow the Arsenal.
Exactly. Same shit. Play the same game again.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Or they could just say, we're the Arsenal. Because I think when you hear people in back in London who say, we're the Arsenal, what they're saying is that Arsenal have the correct way to behave.
That's Arsenal's level, bro. We're not getting no elite managers, man.
The problem is, you got to remember, let's be honest. If Arteta's not doing a good job, and he's not going to get us in the Champions League, and we finish where we finished last season, where if we don't get a striker, that could happen, then his job should be on the line. We should.
Of course.
No, it doesn't matter.
Of course.
Britain,
no, we can finish top 4. He's got to go. I said it straight. If he finishes after the first one, I hold up my hand and say I'll be the first one to say, Kenny.
You can't give him another chance because he's had
I'm saying this season now, all right?
He's unsuccessful.
Kenny, I'll be the first person.
Oh, got one voice.
All right. I will come on social media and be the first person. I said give him out. I'm saying this season. I'm giving him to the end of the season. If he finishes 8th, I will come on social media and apologize to every.
You don't have to. Why are you No, fair. Don't do that.
No, it's your belief, mate.
Why do you want to be what you're not? By you apologizing, you're trying to get. Let me tell you something. Now,
it's your opinion, Fuad.
Yeah, let me say about social media, right? These guys don't ever give people power to change you to be what you're not. If they criticise you in the comments and say you talk too much or you try to think, then carry on doing it because that's you. Never ever give people, because these people who are trolls and have a go at you for your opinion, that's their power because they've got no power in their lives. Never ever apologise for wanting to be an Arteta in. Because the minute you do that,
you are who you are, man. You are who you are.
Social media.
I take that back. I will never apologise over my dead body.
Good, because the minute you start doing that, come off social media because you're not. Because you become one of them. Who just want to protect their amount of followers they have. You can't do that.
You got to be yourself, mate. And everyone knows me. Everyone knows if you got a show and it's PG, it ain't for me. It ain't going to work. Everyone knows how I am. Mm-hmm. I've been asked by other guys, if you come on, can you tone it down a bit? I go, I don't know how the fuck to do that. So I can't, better not fucking try. And that's just the way it is. I mean, you guys have seen when I lose my shit, I lose my shit. And you have to be yourself. And if you're Arteta in, you're Arteta in. And I'm not an Arteta in guy. I'm not an Arteta out guy. I want us to win. I'm more Arteta out than in, I'll be honest. I'm more Arteta out. But the thing is, I look at it realistically and I say, even if I get rid of him tomorrow, look at the caliber of managers that's out there for us. It's not going to be better. So that's why I say to all your Arteta outers, think about it. Stop making it out like you're the Arsenal of old, right? The Invincibles, where you could get anything you want. We can't get anything we want. All we can do is work with what we got. And at the moment, it's a shit owner, right? It's a club that's have a fan base that can be toxic at the best of times, right? And we have a manager that matches the level of our club.
I love you, leave you. But I'll be sneaking out in 2 hours. So I'll speak to you guys.
All right, guys. Well, that's wrapping it up. I mean, it's me and Fuad. I was just about to wrap it up myself. Fuad, thank you for being on. I think we covered the topics as best as we can. This is probably going to be a 2-parter. I'm going to have to flip this in 2 parts because we really went into depth. But I really appreciate you being on, Fuad. And Kenny Ken, I know you've just jumped off. From the Aussie Gooner, from Prince Fuad, from Kenny Ken. Guys, it's Uru, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for that.